All right, Mets fans, come on in. Welcome, welcome. So, hey, people have been asking me why I don't sound like a salesman on my videos. I have zero interest in doing that nonsense, so just gonna talk normally. I may not have the most entertaining voice, I guess. But what I try to do is say the words that convey exactly what I think and be honest with people about my opinions as I'm putting it out here on video. So, I think that's most important. Um, Not trying to be some hype man for the team or even overly negative, just to be more interesting. I'm trying to just kick facts. I don't work for the team, obviously, and I would never ever work for the New York Post trash. So, I only do this for fun and just to engage with some other fans rather than getting caught up in all the stupid shit being spread about the team. I'm not trying to defend them unnecessarily or even attack them. If something is bad, I'll call it like I see it, and I'll do the same about something good that the team or a specific player does. Um, yeah, a lot going on with the team right now. It's easy for people to pile on, bring up all kind of supposed issues that are true, or you know, just people are getting away with saying anything and just proposing all kind of crazy ideas, like breaking up the entire team and just because they're pissed off that the team is losing. I mean, I'm pissed off too, but you know, still got to try to play next year and put a competitive team out there and put this season behind us. Um, Honestly, some of the I wouldn't say they're the better seasons, but some of the seasons where we didn't do very well, I enjoyed watching, and I hold dearly in my heart for sticking with the team and watching them through that time. Like for instance, the 2012 season, we didn't really get anywhere, but it was cool to see R.A. Dickey go through that. He won the Cy Young, won 20 games. That was something cool to watch. Definitely. Team success wasn't there, but I at least it's interesting. Only one team is gonna win every year, so whether you finish in last place or even win your division and get knocked down in playoffs, still maybe you'd have better hopes for the next season, but you're still unsuccessful in everyone's heart. This video is just going to focus on the past series against the Braves, four game series we just played. I was trying to put this together on Tuesday night, but I was also watching the Mets game at the time, and I that play where they had three errors that caught my eye, and I just tried to put something out real quick just for fun. I spent some time messing around with it because it blocked me when I first posted it for a copyright block. But then I was messing around, like trying to just either shorten the clips or put some interruptions in there. I don't know all the rules really to doing that. It just seemed like something fun to do. And then eventually it cleared. I'm assuming the whole problem was that the game was still playing, but because it cleared without me really doing anything, and got a decent amount of views on that one, compared to some of my other videos. But um, the main purpose of the channel here is to do the recaps of these games, just to continue documenting the Mets 2026 season. That is my main goal. But I love to have fun with little things that I'd see while I'm watching, try to get some engagement with other Mets fans, put my own spin on things. Um, you know, because I'm paying attention and I find things interesting, and this is kind of just like a outlet for me to express that. Obviously, I like to talk baseball in person with people, and just what's going on, but it gives me a chance to kind of like give my impression of things as I'm watching them. I think I pay attention enough to have valid opinions and points about the team. People are free to agree or disagree with any of it, but I'm just going to say what I think and why I think it, most importantly, and we'll go from there and then just continue watching the team. But my main goal is to recap the games and just give context to the play-by-play. Some games I'll skim over more than others, but other times I'll try to get into the details of the game. And for anyone who may not have watched it, especially, they can kind of get a sense of the emotional tension going on in these games, which it's the best part of baseball, in my opinion. But yeah, this series against the Braves, though, can we call it good? I think in this case we can. They're first place team. We're in last as visitors coming in. Not much to really play for this season. I mentioned it's like, hey, if we're gonna be out of it, I'm looking forward to be spoilers to some of these teams that are, think their shit don't stink or whatever, or think they're gonna roll over on us. I want to see our guys put up a fight and make them earn it. Obviously, the bad April we had put us back, and then bad April put us back, and then we tried to fight back in May. Seemed like we were turning things around, and then just the bottom fell out again in June, and a lot of changes were made. So, we, in my mind, we are out of it. It would take a crazy miracle to get back into this race. Something like people haven't seen before, really. But there were some positives in this series, a bunch of negatives, also some tense moments that added a lot of excitement to the games. Coming in this series, we had already taken 2 of 3 against Atlanta at home back in June. So we're up on the season coming into the series. Game 1, kind of a casual affair. I didn't really watch this game. I was beat down from working a long day on Friday. I didn't miss much, it appears. Mets only scored 3 runs off 10 hits. Christian Scott, he's been victimized by the long ball in his past 3 starts. Obviously, just coming back from that little hip thing he had, trying to get back into the groove again. This one he allowed 2, making that 6 home runs allowed in his last 13 innings over 3 starts. He also has 19 strikeouts over that time, so it's not bad really by any means. I think he's just going up there challenging hitters, and they're cashing in on some of them, with the 6 home runs. Other than that, he's been pretty solid and doing exactly what we need him to do. Just basically, in my estimation, his goal should be to just get through the season healthy, and we'll start real deal next year. Hopefully, get some more length out of him with, being another year away from his surgery. So I'm looking forward to good things from him. I'm not going to hold any of this against him. Obviously, the 19 strikeouts is great. He's definitely part of our future. As far as the rest of this game, Braves hit 4 home runs total in this game, including 2 by Matt Olson. Juan Soto hit a home run for the Mets, his 18th of the season, but it wasn't much else. Bichette added RBI in the 9th in a rally attempt, but Francisco Lindor grounded out against Iglesias. The Braves closer, there were 2 men on base in that end of the game. So, we could have got something there at the end, but we facing a good closer, on our last shot, tried to make something happen, just didn't happen. Game 2, just total nightmare. Before this game, it had been looking like Manaea was coming around a little bit in his past few outings. He allowed 6 runs in this one, only 5 innings. Austin Warren, guy is starting to outlast his usefulness, it seems. Sometimes these guys just get exposed after a while. I mean, we'll see. I don't want to make too much of a determination on him. At this point, it seemed like he was dealing with a potential injury. I don't know how much it affected him in this game, but he gave up 4 runs in 2 innings, including a home run. Joey Gerber up again, trying to stick with the big club. He allowed 3 runs in 2/3 of an inning, and that all made it necessary to bring in Luis Torrens, who also gave up a home run to give the Braves 5 home runs on the day. For the Mets, Tyrone Taylor and Mark Vientos both went deep off Chris Sale, so that was good. I mean, I think we were probably expected to lose this game anyway, but the one thing I didn't like that I noticed, and this is my first thought when I just looked at the lineups, was that they didn't start AJ Ewing against Sale in this one. I mean, I guess he's, if anything, his weakness would be a tough lefty, but I mean, I think it's a waste of an opportunity to give a guy like Ewing a look at these top lefties, especially a guy like Sale, who just, he'll make another left-handed pitcher seem a lot easier to hit off, really. This guy is one of the, has a unique delivery, and his stuff is just amazing. I just don't see the purpose of not exposing Ewing to that. I mean, I know we're still trying to win games, but I don't think that would have been the reason that we lost. I mean, at some point you gotta expose him to these guys, and I think he can handle it. I mean, he may not go 4 for 4 against them, but he'll put up good at bats, no doubt. Like, I have no doubt about it. So just a little thing that bothered me with that. Obviously, it was a blowout and didn't matter, but just kind of some of these little things that can speed up a player's development. Game 3, excellent game until it wasn't. Mets scored in the first with a Bichette single, bringing in Lindor, who reached on an error. Then we have McLean on the mound. He gave up 3 right away in the bottom. Hit the first batter, Baldwin, and a double to Albies, with both scoring on a Michael Harris single. McLean then threw one away, trying to pick Harris off at first, allowing him to move up to third, and then he scored on another single. Mets grabbed the lead back with AJ Ewing leading off the second with a solo shot. Then a walk for Torrens and a double by Beatty brought it back up to the top of the lineup, where Lindor knocked in Beatty with a single, and Soto followed that up with a single to bring in both Torrens and Lindor. McLean, he settled down after that. After getting the lead, pitched 6 innings with 5 strikeouts. We go all the way to the top of the 9th with the Mets still up 5-3. Tyrone Taylor leads off with a home run off the ex-Met Carlos Carrasco, vaunted ex-Met. He's the guy that came with us with Lindor in that trade. He was okay for us, but just had to throw that in there. We scored 4 more with 2 outs. A Beatty single, then walks by Lindor and Soto. Loaded the bases for Bichette, who drove in 2 with a double off the wall in left center. And then Jared Young brought in Soto and Bichette with a single. It was looking like a nice, easy Sunday afternoon cruise to a victory. But nope. Huascar Brazoban came in. Decided he wanted to mess around, let the Braves back into the game, allowing 2 singles to lead off the inning. Totally threw the ball away, trying to pick off Dom Smith at first, scoring a run on that play, and then he loaded the bases up with a single and a walk. Got a strikeout. Next batter, Drake Baldwin, grand slam. gets him right back into the game after we had just scored 5 in the top of the inning. They had to bring in Devin Williams in, try to stop the bleeding. I mean, it was just downward spiral for Brazoban. Obviously, cleared the bases there, so give Williams a clean slate. It seemed like he wasn't totally ready to pitch that day, especially after the runs we scored in the ninth. I'm sure he was up, and then they sat him back down, brought in Brazoban. After a tough battle to strike out Albies, Williams gave up a double to Olson. Then a wild pitch moved him to third. Another single by Harris scored him. Dubon came up next and singled with Harris advancing to third, and then on the throw to get Harris at third, Dubon took second. So we had, up one, guys on second and third. Dom Smith coming up, and Williams was able to strike him out on a changeup, I believe it was, finally ending that game. Oh my Lord, that was crazy. So seems like we at least salvaged one in the series. This one was a 4-game series, wrapping around to a Monday night game for the 4th game. Mets threw out Freddie Peralta, hoping to turn his season around, either for his own benefit and also for the Mets' benefit by possibly adding more value to him with a potential trade piece, as has been much discussed and probably, will happen. I don't know. Well, unless they can work out some deal for him to stay, I don't see any reason to hold him for the rest of the season. Mets started the scoring in the second with Carson Bench hitting a leadoff home run off Reynaldo Lopez. Braves would come back and score 2 in the bottom on a few singles and a Jared Young error. And then they would tack on another run in the third with a Matt Olson solo home run off Peralta. That's Olson's 3rd home run of the series. This guy just is like the next Chipper Jones, next Freddie Freeman guy that just always kills us for the Braves. I mean, obviously he's their best player, but they just always love to pull shit out against the Mets. Peralta, he would be pulled with 2 on and 2 out in the 5th, bringing in Cionel Perez. He got the final out there, keeping the score at 3-1. Mets got one back in the 6th. Bichette, he would lead off with a single, but was thrown out trying to score on the Benj double. But Benj would eventually score on a single by Alvarez. Then we go on to the 9th, where the Braves brought in their closer, Raisel Iglesias, to lock it down. Francisco Alvarez greeted him with a leadoff single. Then after Brett Beatty strikes out, Ronnie Mauricio added another single. A.J. Ewing came up. He hit one out to right center. The guy's been hot, but, just couldn't really get anything done on this one. He did move the runner to third, but then Soto came up, the big guy. This is what we pay him for. A lot of people like to call him Juan Solo because he hits a lot of solo home runs. So it seems. I don't, it's not really his fault when guys aren't on, and that's the time to pitch to him when he has nobody on in front of him and not the greatest protection behind him. So, you got to factor that in as well. Like, is he not clutch? Are you kidding me? Have you seen this guy throughout his career? I mean, just because he's with the Mets now doesn't mean he forgot to be a great player, and the results are kind of showing that. So, he's the least of our worries. But yep, Soto came up. blasting one down the right field line, 3-run home run, giving the Mets a 5-3 lead. Just flipped that game around totally on their closer with 2 outs in the 9th inning. Devin Williams came on the bottom, possibly feeling the effects of having to pitch unexpectedly in the previous game. I mean, they haven't. I would have to look the amount of times he's gone back to back, but I would imagine it's less than maybe a handful, But he is the closer on the team, and he just hasn't had as many chances to get saves as he maybe would have expected. But he's the closer. We're paying him, closer type money to lock these games down. He allowed a leadoff double to Albies, and then Olson comes up and ties the game with a 2-run home run. Went opposite field on this one, hit it to left. It was a great piece of hitting on his part, but the double and then the home run that killed us right there, or potentially could have killed us. Williams allowed 2 more base runners after that. Brooks Raley had to come in and bail him out to get through the 9th. Go to the 10th. Bichette as a ghost runner. Lindor and Benj couldn't do anything except get Bichette to 3rd. And it was looking like the Mets might blow this one. I mean, as I mentioned, if you're the road team and you don't score in the 10th, you're going to lose like 95% of the time. I'm not sure the exact percentages, but it just seems like it, especially with us. But yeah, Jared Young got hit by a pitch, making it 1st and 3rd for Luis Torrens. You know how he does. He's been getting some clutch hits, mostly tapping it down the right field line. You've seen him do that a number of times in these situations. It was a tough at bat, but this time he hooked one down the left field line for a double, scored both runners, gave the Mets a 7-5 lead, and just need to hold Atlanta down and get this split. I mean, it's not to win a series or anything, but I think a split in Atlanta is a good result for this team. Luke Weaver came on for the Mets, got the first batter out, but then gave up a RBI double to Harris, scoring the ghost runner, and he struck out Albies to bring up Olson again. Easy decision to intentionally walk him there, but he walked the next batter unintentionally. He was able to get Dubon then to ground out to Lindor, flipped it over to second for the force out to end the game, but that's just a stressful 2 games there. I mean, in the 3rd game, we were winning the whole game, had a big 9th, took an even bigger lead into the bottom, and then brought it to the brink of destruction until we finally got out of that one. And then in this one, we were losing the whole game. Soto gave us the lead, 2 outs, top of the 9th, gave us the lead off their closer. Then we allow them to tie. I mean, Matt Olson obviously has a thing for us. He's going to kill us every chance he gets. Tied it up there, and it looked like, the home run was off or not, off the one off Williams. We had 2 outs in the top of the 10th, looking like we weren't going to score, but Torrens came up with the big hit, put us up 2 there. I mean, if you score 2 in the extra inning, that's great, because it's like almost a guarantee to score 1 run. As close as you can get in baseball, but then we were still able to allow them to score 1, and then you just got out of it there. Great, With the way things are going, I think it's a great result for us. Even in this series, dropping the first 2 and the second game especially was just a nightmare. But but to even fight back on the Sunday afternoon game and then the Monday game, just, to even the series up, that I think it's a good sign just for the team to keep out. Although, we came close to blowing them at the same time, but hey, every team kind of does that. It's the ones that hold on are the ones you're going to remember, as, having a positive effect on the rest of the season, hopefully. But we'll see where it goes. Yeah, they're already playing the Kansas City series. I'm gonna put a video out about that one quick. I'm not even gonna give it away because I want to save it for my own interest in that one. But yeah, a lot of talk. The craziest talk that I've heard is the suggestion that we trade Lindor. I mean, that just seems stupid, and I don't know who these people are bringing up this kind of stuff because, first of all, he's still under contract for 5 more years at $34 million. I mean, if he was a free agent, maybe someone would sign him to that contract. I mean, he's still going to be productive and playing quality shortstop. So the value is there. Is a team going to trade for that and also assume the salary, or even give a better deal and have the Mets eat some of it? I mean, I don't think the Mets are looking to have any more dead money on their books, especially to give away one of their better, one of at least their top 3 players and their starting shortstop. So that's just crazy. The whole Soto Lindor thing, I feel, is overblown. It's just a headline to write to get people all riled up, especially knowing that Mets fans are already disappointed in the season, and it just gives the mouth breathing portion of our fan base, something to get all up in arms about. I am not one of those. Breathe through my nose and my mouth, and I try to apply critical thinking, even on things that I'm emotional about. But I also know bullshit when I see it, and like I said, I don't care if these guys are best friends or whatever, as long as they're professional on the field. And I think they just are still working it out. I mean, it don't matter. I mean, but what is important is that they, kind of set an example for some of these younger guys coming up just through leadership in their own way. They don't need to be best friends. They don't need to be photographed out at some event or anything like that. Just get along, be professional, and hit the ball hard, and catch the ball and stuff like that. I don't care if they're best friends. They're paid to be professional baseball players, and I know they both want to win, and they're gonna be themselves and put up numbers. The rest of it is bullshit. It's just like tabloid nonsense. But yeah, trade in Lindor for what? Why? He wasn't really even part of the team this year to blame it on. I mean, he hasn't had the best numbers, but he came in already dealing with the hamate bone injury, and then he was missed 50 games with a calf injury. I just don't get it. I don't know. A lot of low IQ info, or not even info, just opinions about a little bit of info out there, and people run with it. So hey, we'll enjoy this split, I guess. We'll take it. We do have the season lead against Atlanta 4-3 now. Still have to play them 2 more series, so hopefully we can spoil them a little bit. But that's it for now. You guys take care. See you in the next video. Thank you.